Welcome back to the co-sponsor podcast. Today I have Tina Caul with me out of Raleigh, North Carolina. So Tina, welcome to the show. Why don't we jump right in and just tell us a little bit about where you were before eXp Realty and like what led you here?
So before I was with eXp Realty, I was with KW and ReMax forever. I've been in the industry for 25 years. So now 6 years with eXp. So it's been a fun ride.
Nice. So obviously ReMax, Keller Williams, I know a little bit about your story, and actually people want to go back and watch the first show we did, they can go right to to the YouTube channel and go back. It was probably heck 5 years ago.
Mhm.
So they can get the in-depth version. I'll actually link it in the video here too as well. But like what wasn't working for you in the traditional model, or what was like the nugget that somebody planted that like got you to open your eyes and see that there was like something maybe different? Because obviously going from ReMax to KW, the culture is different,
Yeah.
but was the model really different? And then did you think you were going to make a lateral move, or what was that whole process like?
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely going from Remax to Keller. Keller recruited me because they kept sending me valuable things. And I thought, I'm not getting this at Remax. I was kind of really on an island. Then when I got to Keller, it was like I got there and they were like showcasing me, like, look at this amazing agent and look at all the production she does. And then I found myself doing all the trainings for the agent. And I was like, well, who's training me? And so I felt like kind of lost a little bit on an island. Still happy, but I just knew that I would probably venture away and open my own independent team is where I was going. And at that time in 2017, 2018, I sort of had like this little meltdown. I wasn't happy with production anymore. I'd been, 18, 19 years. I follow my joy meter and I'm like, I'm just not having fun anymore. And I knew that if I stopped working though, I'd never put other streams of income in place. So I couldn't stop working. I was literally stuck. And I decided I was going to go buy mobile home university and I was going to buy mobile home parks and I was going to renovate the parks and I was going to that was my plan to have passive income. And so my friend Michelle Saward, who had known me for years, I was recruiting her to Keller and she called me one day. She said, I'm not coming to Keller. I found this little company called eXp and you've got to look at this. And you know what I said? No, absolutely not. eXp is not prominent in my area. I don't know, the agents that work here are not really high producing and it's not luxury. And I was the biggest poo-pooer of it. But thank God, Jesse, she didn't ghost me, just like our buyers do to us. She did
Yep.
not ghost me. She kept following up. Finally, one day she called me and said, I feel like I met Jesus Christ and invited you to dinner to meet him, and you're saying no to that opportunity. That's how important this is. And I said, fine, I'll watch your dumb video. And it was 10 o'clock at night, and I watched her video in its entirety. There was Gene Fredericks on there doing the napkin thing. And I said, oh my God, I see it. I see the future of real estate, and how dare I not have an open mind?
Yeah. Where were you at in your business right then? Like how much production were you doing?
So I was at 130 deals a year as a solo producer, and then I had five or six teammates, and they sold like another 100 plus deals. So I was at burnout. That's exactly where I was. I was burning out. I was, I didn't know where else to go because I was the main producer of my business. And you'd recruit agents, and you didn't have time for them because you're selling 100 homes or 50 homes or 60 homes. Most team leaders are the best agent in their business. And so that's where I was at. I was looking for other ways because nobody taught us how to slow down in real estate. You either die or you keep going. And we all know the 80-year-old realtor that's opening lock boxes. And I definitely didn't want to be that person.
Why, it's interesting to me that you said that you were looking at like going to mobile home park flipping. Like,
Mhm.
why wasn't your focus into like selling more houses and scaling that up, like when that was already the business that you were in?
Well, because there's only, you can only do so much, like I was at 100, I was like 15 transactions a month. Think about it. The average agent in the nation does two a year, and I'm at 15 a month. So I was making money. Money was not the issue. It was my time in exchange for that money was the issue. And I was the facilitator of every deal. If I left and went to Costa Rica for 2 weeks, things would fall apart because they were my customers. So I felt trapped. We go to the beach. My son and my husband are at the beach. I'm back at the beach house on the deck, just 5 more minutes, I got a deal. And 3 hours go by because you're managing the deal. We're in the car. Hold on, let's pull over. I need Wi-Fi. I gotta send the contract. Like you're just a slave to the electronics. You're a slave to the service. And I was damn good at my job. Like I could pump out those deals. I could manage all those people. But at some point, you can't build a big business with one human. Like you just can't. No matter, I had support, I had admin, I had all the people in that regard, but I was the sole provider of that business. And so if I decided to slow down, there goes my income. And when you build a life off 500, 600, $700,000 a year, 800,000 a year, oh, it sucks to go backwards. It sucks to go, well, instead of 130 deals, I think I'll do 50. Like nobody says that. So as a high performer, you just keep going because here's the problem in the business, Jesse. There is no ceiling. And for a very driven, competitive person, you just keep going and going and you push that needle higher and higher and higher until burnout comes in. And then burnout is your normal. It's your new normal. And it's not normal because now I know what normal feels like, and it's this.
Yeah. I just went to the Brian Buffini bold predictions in person.
Yeah.
And I heard a lot of agents saying that they were like trying to right size their business. It's like the new buzzword I'm hearing.
Yes.
And it's funny because they're like, oh, it's really tough to right size it versus scale up. And then I'm like, I ask them like, what brokerage are you at? And then they would be like, oh, I'm ReMax, Keller Williams, whatever it is. And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's everyone gets stuck in that messy middle and they just don't know where to go. And they think
Correct.
by going this way they're going to do that, and by going that way they're going to do this. So like, what was it in that video or whatever the messaging was that just clicked where you're like, this is the answer?
You know what it was? It was the fact that I was going to spend, two, $300,000 for a down payment to buy, a $2 million mobile home park, and then make, seven, $8,000 a month passively. And I was like, God, look at this investment. Versus, I'm going to spend $149. I'm going to come to this company, and then based on my 20 years of knowledge, I'm going to monetize my brain by saying, hey, agent, I can help you. Join me here, be my partner, and I will help you launch your business, help you with your skills. Like I knew that I could do it easily without the risk of the monetary investment. And also, one capping agent, which is $2.5 million, 5 deal a year producer, is worth the equivalent of one rental property's passive cash flow. So think about that. I attract you to the company, you sell 5 homes. eXp is going to send me a referral fee for, $4,000. That's exactly what I would make on a property with a $1,300 payment, put someone in for 1,600, pay the property manager, you're left with 250, 300. By the end of the year, you make 4 grand. But you just invested 60,000, 70, $80,000 on the down payment. So now I have 1,550 people in my organization. That's 1,550 rental properties. I could not manage that portfolio. I don't have enough money to buy those properties. But guess what? For the career length of all those people, I get to pour into them just like you do. You've helped me grow. I help you grow. We're just helping each other and we get rewarded for that. And that is much more my jam.
Gotcha. So and I agree with you. And it's funny when you were saying the thing about the rental, I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, this is so true. Everyone thinks these rentals are going to be like their path forward. But at the end of the day, you're like never generating a ton of incremental cash.
Correct. Well, get this. I have 11 I went and bought. It cost me 800,000 to buy those 11 and I bought them in the last 6 years. 800,000. Do you know what I net? Let's say I had to live on only my rentals. I had no call group, no downline, nothing. I make 5 grand clear. I
Yep.
need 15 grand a month to survive. So yes, when I'm 65 and 70 and all 11 are paid for, we'll have 25 grand a month coming in. But that is a long-term investment strategy. It's not today money. It's
Yep.
later money, but it's not today money. So I think people think they're going to buy all these rentals. They're still broke
Yep.
after they buy them. In fact, they're more broke because they break down and one of them just needs a new roof. I have to put a roof on it. I never have to put a roof on an agent, and their water heater doesn't break.
That's so true.
That's just a fun joke. But you know what I'm saying? It's like you're just pouring into them and they're producing and they love it here and they're getting value, and so am I.
So out of that, over 1,000 agents in your total organization. So you have your organization, which is all your
Mhm.
agents in your organization at eXp, and then you have your actual team.
Right.
How many agents did you have to directly recruit to equal out that 1,000 organization? Or did you
So
directly track in your front line?
so we're 1,530 people in the organization. In 6 years, I have recruited over 220 people or whatever it is. So if you do the math on 6 years, it's like two a month, maybe two
Hmm.
to three a month. It's not that hard to do, but it's a relationship building business. So my thought was when I joined eXp, hey, I'm going to still sell homes. I love real estate. I love selling homes. But when I do sell homes, instead of looking for buyers and sellers, which I always continue to do, now when I'm working with an agent on the other side of the transaction, I look at them and say, I can invest in the relationship number three. I have access to another source of income just by building relationships, which I'm good at, and all realtors are usually good at, because now I have an opportunity as a broker owner. Now I'm immediately an owner when I join eXp. And the company rewards me for saying, I love this company. Do you want to join it with me? And people are like, yeah, if it's better for me, show me. And when you show them and they resonate, they join. And then I get rewarded. It's just a natural thing for me.
So what was your personal team's transaction in 2024?
2024, the team, there were 42 agents and they sold 700 and I think 730 houses. And
Okay.
one of those were my sales
Okay. So when you came to EXP, you said you were doing about 100 and something transactions. So then you
personally.
make the move into EXP. So what was it that allowed you to scale from that 100 to 732?
So the big difference maker, because I've always had a coach. I've spent hundreds of thousands on coaching. Mike Ferry was my first coach. It was the community. It was weekly meetings. So I read the book Think and Grow Rich. In Think and Grow Rich, number two is mastermind. Surround yourself with like-minded people doing the things you want to do and learn from them. And so every week, Mondays at 1 o'clock, there's 300 to 400 of us that get together and we exchange each other's information on how we build teams. I happen to be around big team leaders. Guess what? Now we've grown the team. So I knew that I had the Tina Caul business, which is over 100 homes here, and I had the team. What I did for 3 years is I kept selling homes over here, but I hired a sales manager over here and I kept funneling the money I was making into this. So the sales manager was recruiting, training, retaining the secondary business, which is the team. And that allowed me to get to 20 agents because basically, if they sell 16 homes on my team, we net about $30,000 per agent per year. So 10 agents is 300,000, 20 agents is 600,000. It took 20 agents to replace my income. So once we got to 20 agents, I started to scale back my amount of deals until I was at zero.
See, that's the golden number right there. And that's why we talk about the messy middle and people can't figure out how to hit that number. So you're saying the number was 20 to
For
replace
me,
your income. Yeah.
20 at selling 16. Now remember, we had to teach them to sell 16. So our first year when an agent joins our team, we want them to sell 12, which is in the first 90 days, they're trying to get one or two, and the next 9 months, they're trying to get the rest. But it's like a 3 year cycle for an agent. So it took, as what happens, Jesse, is team leaders step out too quickly, then they get broke and they're like, this team's not working, I'm done. Oh, these people don't want to work as hard as me. That's not true. It's just that you're putting yourself in a situation financially where you can't really work through the pain over here. So they have to stay in production and they have to hire a manager to build this team. It would be like me asking a 100 deal a year producer to open up a McDonald's. Oh, open it up, hire, fire, train, be the hostess, be the cook. You can't do it all. You can't be a part-time leader and grow a team. You have to be a full-time leader. I couldn't commit to being a full-time leader, so I hired a full-time leader. And that was the difference. I took the 80 grand salary and I said, "You help me grow this team to X amount of agents, and then I'll step out and help grow it with you." And that worked.
What was it the coach that helped you make that mindset shift?
No, because
What
my
was it?
coach, I actually left my coach because he was all about being solo. It was just me in my mind. How I make a safe decision was I know what I need to survive here. Why would I give up my sales? I'll put my ego aside because everybody doesn't need you as the leader. I'll put my ego aside and I'll hire someone that I feel is capable and great. And this lady came from pharma. She had led sales team, no real estate experience, but she was good at leading sales teams. And so she knew more than me in that regard. I was a crappy manager. I'm not a good manager. Even today, not my thing. I'm a salesperson. And so I still have now a leadership team that's better at the things that I'm not good at. Operations, management, TC work, still not my jam. What I'm good at is let me help this agent go from point A to point B to point C, and that's I stay in my lane.
What like what gave you was it just you paying attention to the industry, or like was there any sort of guide rails that you were following or anyone you were listening to, or you were just like, this is what I think I need to do and I'm doing it?
No, because everybody did it a different way. Like there were, and most people that I knew had not done it this way. It was just my idea that worked. And again, it was more of a safety measure. How many agents do I need producing at a certain level to get me out of my production? Because most, like I said, most agents I met, they failed at team leading. And a lot of the team leaders that I knew were not very profitable. So I guess it wasn't something I picked up, it's just something that naturally I knew I needed help. I think I read, I'm sure I read books that were all about filling your gaps.
Yeah,
And that was my gap, that I wasn't a manager. I had a imposter syndrome, like I'm like, how could I lead these people? I need someone to help me. So it was more like I need help and I need a coach. Let me just hire a sales manager to lead this sales team.
gotcha.
And it
And so,
just luckily worked out. Let's just say that. It was luck.
oh yeah, I know. I just got off the call with another agent who is a team lead, but doing it by feel, and
Yeah,
definitely not a
yeah,
leader. And we were talking about this, and I was telling him, I'm like, have you ever looked into Team Leader Academy on the EOS system, which you said that you are a part of?
yeah.
And he was like, nope. And I'm like, you need to do this because he was at a 20% split to himself and 80 to his agents, and he couldn't figure out why it wasn't moving.
Yeah, that's not going to scale, but we all make those mistakes, and it's like and that's my thing. Like now I'm again, ego aside. Hey, you've done that. How did you do it? Let's unpack it. It may not be exactly for me, but I can glean off what you've done and see if it's a fit for me. I think that's the other thing. We all try to do it like someone else. Well, I'm not Jesse. I could never come and build a YouTube channel like you because you're you. Your audience is going to be attracted to you. And when
Mhm.
people go, I want to build a team like yours, you're never going to build a team like mine because I'm me and you're you. What are your beliefs? What is your history? What is it that motivates you in life? They're all going to be different answers, but I could give you a roadmap of what not to do and just stay away from those landmines, but then build it your way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So whether it's a team lead, brokerage owner, or like a solo agent, and they join your organization, like what does that look like?
For me, so what I tell everybody is leadership is they need to know that they have access to me, that I'm trustworthy. So what I share with them, I have the best intention. I don't know all the answers, but I have the best intention, and that I'm fun. So accessible, trustworthy, and fun. Because you got to have fun in life. Like people are just too uptight. So when they meet with me, when they first meet with me, we do a coaching call. We break down their business plan. Like, what is their plan? Who are they as people? I'm a working genius coach, so I always do their assessments because I
Hmm.
believe self leadership is figuring out you first. Then they get my 6 week listing mastery because I believe you have to list to last. So that's like a $3,500 product. I give that to them. And then my listing relaunch. So it's just a tool. And then our weekly masterminds, they're just involved in the data in the week to week. Everybody needs to carve out at least 2 hours a week for reading and attending some sort of training or mastermind. Because I think as leaders, we go fast, 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 and we want to see results. We never slow down to go fast. And so they're just ingrained in our culture. And then again, pick up the phone when you want to make a big decision. Phone a friend. There might be a gap, or people have blinders that they can't see. And when you have friends that can see around corners for you, like at least just ask before you make this huge decision.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually had someone call me over the weekend and they were talking about buying a house.
Hmm.
It was another agent. And then he goes, oh, I would never make a decision like this without asking you first. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that means a lot to me. And
Yeah.
it was like a true example of like what you just said of like what people should be doing.
Right.
And I
And you
think a
have
lot,
good discernment, and that's why. And there are people that when you look at their working genius, they actually don't. That's a skill, and that's your genius. So phone a friend before you're going to buy that, whatever, that timeshare. Don't do it.
it's funny. I told him he's talking about buying. He ended up buying like $160,000 boat. And then when he was asking me about that in the wintertime, I was like, don't ever buy one of those new boats. I'm like, these things are so stupid. And
Right.
he ended up buying it, but whatever.
Of course, emotional purchase. Hey, you can't save them all. No.
You got to treat yourself every once in a while.
That's right. That's right.
What type of agent like really thrives in your environment?
To me personally, I think it's an agent that's they're resourceful. They're not whiners. They're gonna get up and go look around and break things. Like they're not afraid to try things. You have to take 100% responsibility with zero excuses in my world. Like we don't need people that are whiny. So if you need like constant hand holding, but you haven't tried, probably not going to function well in our world. So we want people that are driven, motivated, positive, and just looking for growth, growth-minded mindset. As long as you're looking for growth and you've got positivity and you know that you're not going to be perfect, you're going to learn lessons, you'll do great in this environment.
Nice. Do you have an example or a story of an agent that has joined you in the last couple of years that came in and just really took it to the next level?
Yeah. Oh, I got so many. So my first recruit ever, she had 5 jobs when I met her. She sold one house at Keller Williams. Now this year alone, she has 40 members on her team. They have 115 units under contract. These are all brand new agents, by the way. So she like literally sat next to me for 2 years and just copied everything. She's an amazing student. Her name is Charity Masaudi. Now she teaches all our new agent onboarding. She's amazing. So you'll have to interview her next.
Yeah, I'll definitely reach out to her. She's been in my coaching program with YouTube. She's
There you go. You
yeah,
know she's a student. She's just like me. We have a similar genius. She learns and learns and learns and learns, but always has a positive attitude. And man, that girl has planted so many seeds and now she's picking those flowers because she's worked really hard.
that's exciting. I remember when she was on your team back in the day, so that's super cool.
Yeah, no, she was never on my team. She
Oh,
was
she wasn't on your
in my
team?
downline. She just
Gotcha.
acted like she was on my team. She always showed up, which I love. She plugged in.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
What like what's a strategy that's working right now that most agents aren't using that you think is like a big miss?
For their sales or
Yeah,
agent attraction.
further sales.
I think a strategy, right? Well, I mean, going back to the basics. So I built an empire on calling expireds and for sale by owners, and I think we're back to that market again. So if you're not calling the people that are literally raising their hand every single day and you're whining about the business, you're just too afraid to actually learn a skill that will help you become wealthy. But two, I think I created this funnels for dummies, I call it. And I think you could use it for buyers, sellers, or whatever. But since January, it's a very basic funnel. I have created a list of 7,000 names and numbers, and I email market to them once a week. And basically, I've used ChatGPT. I've made customizable, downloadable PDFs. And then when I make a social media post, maybe it's, hey, sellers, here are the 5 mistakes that most sellers make that end up, losing them whatever, thousands of dollars downloaded here. They
Hmm.
download that and then boom, you've got their name and number. Now you can market to them. I use it for agent attraction because I'm looking to build partners, but it can be used in so many different vehicles. But it's very basic, and I do it through Stand Store. And if you go to my Instagram, you'll see it there. And it's just it crushes. It crushes for like lead acquisition.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never actually been able to figure out stand store, so maybe I'll have to
It's
figure that
so
out.
easy. I'll teach you.
Perfect.
So easy.
What do you think is like something that agents really think matters, but in hindsight it really means nothing?
I think sometimes they get overly obsessive about like their logo or what brokerage they're with, especially what brokerage they're with. Well, I'm with Sotheby's and eXp would never work here. And I'm like, nobody cares where you work. I mean, really, the only people that care, and think about it, Jesse, the consumers don't know where we work. They go to Zillow. They
Yeah.
look up a house on Zillow or realtor.com and then they call us. They're not saying, oh, I have to have a Century 21 agent. So I think they get overly obsessed. And the reason is the brokerages have convinced us all because we are their cattle. Hey, you got to work here because this is our value proposition at Sotheby's or Compass or whatever. And when I moved from ReMax to Keller Williams, I called all of my past clients and I told them, I'm moving from ReMax, I'm going to KW. And they're like, well, wait, you were where? Oh, I was at ReMax. Well, okay, but are you still going to be my salesperson? Yes, I'm still going to. Okay, well, we don't care where you go. Like they didn't care. And when
Oh
I
yeah.
moved from Keller to eXp, we didn't call one person and we sold more homes that year and it was just fine. So I think that's another thing. Your no your logos and all that stuff, nobody cares. They care that you give them great service.
Exactly. I know a lot of people really hold on to that, and
They
after they
do.
make that move, and it's funny because like in corporate America, I was in the brewing industry,
Yeah.
and we always noticed that when these college recruits were at one company,
Uh-huh.
we called it because I worked for Sam Adams, we called them Sam bots. It's
Oh
because they
boy.
thought it was the end all be all to the industry, and I'd been to a couple breweries, and I'm like, you know nothing, like,
Right.
but
Right.
it's so
But
ingrained in
I
the
get
work.
it. They
Yep,
get convinced, like that the brokerage has to have some sort of value proposition. So they have to make you feel like they're the ones. But here's the thing, look at your brokerage. Why is it that every agent has a different amount of production? Because if the brokerage truly was the catalyst, everyone would have the same production.
yep,
But we're all unique and different.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
so true. I've never even thought about it like that.
Yeah.
If you were to like unwind it 10 years ago and you were like going to give yourself like one piece of great information besides going to eXp,
Hmm.
what would it be?
10 years ago, I would say save and invest more. Pay yourself first more because I think a lot of times agents are good at generating cash flow. They're just not good at reinvesting the cash flow. And the only thing that you have, like I tell my son all the time, who's 20, I'm like, you have something that I will never have, and that's time.
Yep.
And so, yeah, if I could go back 10 years, I would save and invest way more than I did.
Invest in real estate or
But real estate, stocks, diversify, like diversify everything, and we're pretty good, well diversified. But yes, I would buy more real estate. A lot of our wealth came from buying real estate. But I would also, like I said, invest in the stock market. I don't understand a lot of it, but it is proven to give a decent outcome if you just put it, set it, and forget it. So I would learn more about money. Like people don't train us on that. And so I think that would be something that I would look at more.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I agree with that. What where do you plan on taking not only well, I guess you can give this in a two-part answer, but like where do you see your team going in the next couple of years, and then also like your EXP organization?
So my son is graduating college in 2 years. He just got licensed. So the team is always going to be here. It's a passion project for me now. My actual rev share makes more than the team, but I love the team. And so we'll have that and we'll grow that probably 50, 60 agents max. The EXP team, what's nice is now with co-sponsoring and a lot of us being able to work together, I would love to get to 5,000 people members in our network and then eventually 10,000. But here's the thing. I know this. Keller Williams is 40 years old. In my book, eXp, we were in 2016, we were 1,500 people. So just in the last 10 years, we've grown to 90,000. We are legit now. Nobody questions us. The top producers are coming. We have another 20, 30 years to grow this thing, and we are the leaders in our space. So I look at it and I know I'm going to pass the baton to my son. I will get to 10,000 agents, but whether it takes me 3 years, Jesse, or 10 years, hopefully, God willing, I'll be alive. I'm always going to work. I'm always going to be growing something, and I know it will be EXP. And I don't think I've met my biggest growers yet. I think they're 5, 6, 7 years from now. I just got a few partners in Spain and France. Like the sky's the limit being in 26 countries. Like we're just getting started.
That's awesome. Let's say someone's watching this and they're like, I'm not even on agent one.
Yeah.
You're at agent 1,531.
Hmm.
What is your strategy to go from that number to your big goals? Like, what are you doing daily? What are you doing to do that? Is it just you're taking the actions and the results will come from your actions? And if it happens, it happens. If not, you'll be happy with what comes.
So I would tell an agent to think about agent day one. They've never done a real estate transaction. What advice would you give them in the next 4 years? How many units are they going to do?
Yep.
What activities are they going to need to do to grow a great big business in the next 4 to 5 years? Everything that is high income producing takes time, takes
Hmm.
passion, takes skill, and takes commitment and patience. And I think patience is the most important word because we want it tomorrow. It's been 6 years. 1,531 people in 6 years. You tell people, hey, you have to talk to agents every day. You have to meet with them. Some people might ghost you. Some people might not. Some people might come and leave. Some people might come and stay forever. Like you just have to keep talking to people. But guess what? One day you're going to make 7, 8, 900, $1 million a year in revenue share. But can you stay the course? Everyone in the beginning is going to go, yeah, I could do it. But they won't. They won't commit. They'll hit a roadblock. They'll be like, this is too hard. I'm done. I'm never done. I'm going to keep going and going and going. I'm going to show my son how to do it and show him that I'm consistent, teach him how to do it for the next decade. And I'll probably be recruiting till I'm dead, as long as eXp is still around, because to gift somebody this reward that we never had 20 years ago, my God,
Yeah.
like an agent today, my son walking into eXp, like how lucky for him.
Oh, I keep telling like I have young kids reach out to me. I say young kids, I'm 43, so like 19
Yeah,
years old a kid.
right.
Kids reach out to me on social media all the time. I'm like, I will happily mentor you and just give you some
Yes.
coaching time for free because
Yes.
I'm like, I wish when I was uh my family like went through the whole craze of the '03, and that's when I was 21 in '03.
Hmm.
So I'm like, my stepbrother was like, you should get your real estate license and this and that. And like, but like back then, I remember going to the John L. Scott office by my house. And this was
Hmm.
actually in 2000. And they told me to get your real estate license, you needed to buy this big box of books and a CD-ROM. And then the lady told me, she goes, then when you come back after you pass your license, you got to come here, you have to pay 22 grand. And she was like telling me it was the desk fee, right? But she didn't know how to explain it,
Right.
and it like detoured me for so long. And then
Oh,
I ended up getting into real estate when I was in 2017, which was like I think 7 years ago now. And I killed it, but like I wish somebody would have like said, hey, this is what you need to do. And I just
right.
figured it out on my own. It was actually an agent said, hey, the hottest leads are for sale by owners and open houses, and that's where I dumped all my energy. But like, my broker was trashing eXp the whole time. And so it's when if I would have made the move to eXp 2 years sooner, I'm like, I would have been in here at like agent, 10,000.
Right.
It would have been a whole different situation. So,
Well, that's the thing. It's like you got to trust people's intentions. And that's why I tell people whether you join EXP or not, my life's changed. Yours is, that's up to you. Like my life's already moving this way. You can either jump on the ship or not, but you're not going to change my life by coming or not coming. You're going to
mhm,
change yours,
exactly. Yeah, I
right?
know. It's like the thing that really flipped my switch in my brain for the EXP move was like seeing all the top producers and like influencers coming.
Mm-hmm.
And so like when you mentioned like, the top producers are coming, I'm like, man, the top producers are already here. And like through the scales of the
Here.
economy, we shouldn't be the number one brokerage and also like the second highest average sales per agent. Those two numbers shouldn't go hand in hand.
Right, right. Totally. Totally.
So if people want to get in contact with you, where should they go?
I mean, I'm everywhere now. So I teach on YouTube, listing presentation stuff mainly. So YouTube, my Instagram, Tina_Caul. Make sure you look for the blue check mark because the other fake accounts are selling people crypto. I do not sell crypto. LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever they'll find me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. And we'll be posting this everywhere.
Thank you, friend.
Thanks.
Mhm.